everyone. It's me, Terry, of the Yarn Joy podcast. I hope you're having a great day today. Well, today I thought I would come on here and crochet with you, and we would make this flower. I'm always looking for patterns to use up scrap yarn, and I thought that this was a great square to do because you use in 3 different colors for each square. The pattern is from Yarnspirations, and I did print out the pattern here. I will show you the picture right here. Zoom it up here. So yeah, I was thinking that that would be a great pattern to do, multiple squares using scrap yarn and turn it into a beautiful blanket when you get finished. And so I thought I would come on here and we could crochet this together. Okay, so for this square, you just need 3 colors. I'm thinking for my project, you don't have to do this, but I think for my project, I'm going to make all the centers using the same color for all my flowers. I am actually using this Red Heart Super Saver in bright yellow because I have a ton of it. And so I thought that I would just use that yellow for the center of all my flowers for these squares. But you don't have to do that. I believe in the picture on the pattern, they use different colors for the centers. So it's totally up to you. But so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use yellow for all my centers. So just pick whatever color you want. But like I said, you need 3 colors. A color for your center of your flower, the color for your petals, and the color for the square. Okay, and you can use the same color for the squares if you want to, and just change the color of the flowers. Just make it your own. Okay, so 3 colors, worsted weight yarn, and I am using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, or that is an I hook if you are familiar with the letters. And then you will need a yarn needle just to weave in your ends, and of course a pair of scissors and your pattern. I will link the pattern down below in the description box. I'm grabbing my scissors because I forgot to get a pair. I'll just grab these right here. Okay. There you go. Pair of scissors. Okay. Now, yeah, that is it, I think. Yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and get started with this pattern, and let's make this beautiful flower square. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your worsted weight yarn, whatever yarn you want to use for the center of your flower. You're going to attach the yarn to your hook with a slip stitch or slip knots. Sorry. You don't have to have a long tail in the beginning because I'm going to work over it, and if it's not long, then you can just weave. You won't have to weave in your ends. You'll just be working over it and hiding that tail that way. Okay, so now you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go into the first chain from the hook and do a slip stitch, and that's going to form a ring there, see? Okay, and now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 9 double crochets back into that ring that we made. Okay, and so this round is round 1, and I'm going to work over that tail, and you should have 10 double crochets worked into this ring when you're finished. Now that is counting that first chain 3 is one of the stitches. Okay, so you're going to do the chain 3 and then 9 double crochets. That will give you 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm working over that tail. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Oop. 9. Okay, so there you go. 9 double crochets, and then that first chain 3 is the 10th one. Okay, because the chain 3 is an equivalent to a double crochet. Now I'm going to slip stitch at the top of that chain 3 right there to join my round. Okay, and that is all you have to do for the center of your flower. So now we're going to cut that yarn. Leave a little, little bit of a tail because you want to be able to weave that tail in. And then I'm just going to pull it through after I made that slip stitch. Okay. So there is the first round. Okay, let's go on to round 2. I'm going to pick the next color. I'm going to use this red color, just a worsted weight color. It's kind of a burgundy, not burgundy, I don't know, brick red maybe. Anyway, let's go on to round 2. It says we're going to be working into that chain, the top of that chain 3 where we joined our previous round. So I'm going to put my hook into that, the top of that chain 3, and I'm going to take my yarn and then just pull it through, just like that. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, in that same stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet. And you can work over these tails if you want to. That'll help with the weaving in process. So I'm going to do a double crochet. So in each double crochet around, we are going to do 2 double crochets. So at the end of the round, we have 10 right now. We're going to have 20, counting that chain 3 as the first one. Okay. So 2 double crochets into each one of the double crochets from the previous round. 1 and 2. Okay. So we're going to do that all the way around, and we will have 20 at the end of the round. So I will go ahead and finish this round, meet you up when I get to the last double crochet. Okay. So I am in the last double crochet. I've already done 1 double crochet into it. So now I'm going to make my second one, and this will count as my 20th double crochet around, remembering to count this first chain 3 as my first double crochet. Okay, now I'm going to go and put my hook into the top of that the beginning chain 3 and just do a slip stitch to join that round. Okay, now we are going to stay with this same color. We're not going to cut our yarn yet, and we're going to go on to round 3. So in round 3, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch from where we're at. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do chain, let's see, then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm reading up the pattern, and then we're going to do a triple crochet into that same stitch. Okay, now we're going to do a triple, actually we're going to do 3 of them into the next stitch. So 1 triple, and then another triple, and then the third one, all in that same stitch. Okay, now the next stitch we're going to do 1 triple. Oop, I almost did double. 1 triple. Okay, and then 1 double in that same stitch, and then in the next stitch we're just going to do a slip stitch. Okay, so we just made the first petal of our flower. So into the next stitch we're going to do we're going to do a double, double, and then a triple. Okay, and then the next stitch we're going to do 3 triples. 1, 2, and 3. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 triple, and then 1 double, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. So that is the sequence for our petals. So that's 2 petals made. Okay, sorry if I was off the screen there. I wasn't looking at the camera viewfinder. Okay, the next one is going to be into the next stitch, we're going to do 1 double, and then 1 triple into the same stitch. Okay, and the next stitch we're going to do 3 triples. 1, 2, and 3. And then in the next stitch we're going to do 1 triple and 1 double into that same stitch, and then a slip stitch into the next one. So now we have 3 petals. Okay, so we're going to continue doing that same sequence of petals. Ooh, my ball is rolling around. Okay, so we're going to do the same sequence of petals 2 more times. So we will have a total of 5 petals. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 double, and then 1 triple. In the next stitch, 3 triples. 1, 2, and 3. The next stitch, we're going to do 1 triple. Okay, and then 1 double. And then a slip stitch into the next one. Okay, 1 more petal. Okay, let me pull out some more yarn here. Okay, so 1 more petal to go. So 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 triple or treble crochet into that same stitch. Okay, 3 triple crochets into the next one, the next stitch. 1, 2, and 3, all in the same stitch. 1 triple crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then 1 double crochet into that stitch, that same one. And then in the very last stitch of the round, we're going to do a slip stitch to bring our petal down. Okay, and then the only thing we have to do now is to join our round. We're going to go to that first chain 3 that we made, and we're going to go up to the top of that chain 3, and we're going to slip stitch into it to join our round. There you go, there's our petal. So now I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to cut this color, leaving a tail so I can weave in the ends. And then I'm just going to pull my hook through, just like that. Isn't that a pretty flower? You could even use that flower as an applique if you want to, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to grab our third and final color. I'm going to use this light blue here. Okay, so this is going to be round 4. So we're going to find that stitch that we slip stitched into, because that was the first double crochet of that petal. Okay, let's find it here. This one right here. We're going to insert our hook. Leave a beginning tail there so we can weave that in, pull that through, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that counts as the first double crochet of this round. Okay, now we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch. I'm reading my directions here. Okay, and then we're going to do 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. And then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 double crochet into that stitch, and 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, that's got us around our first petal. Now we're going to do 1 triple crochet. So go ahead and yarn over twice to get ready to do it. And then this next stitch from the previous round was that slip stitch that was between the 2 petals. And so what we're going to do is kind of pull it apart and see that stitch below it where that slip stitch went into. Let me pull you up. I'll pull up closer. Okay, so we're going to go put our hook into that same stitch that the slip stitch went into from the previous round, and that's where we're going to put our hook, and then we're going to do a triple or treble crochet into it. See? Okay, now we're going to just repeat what we did around all the petals. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, which is the first one of the next petal, right? And then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch, and then a single crochet into the next. So that's the top of our petal. Now we're going to do that in reverse now. So we're going to do 1 half double in the next stitch. We're going to do a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 in that stitch and then 1 in the next stitch. Now we're ready to do a treble crochet again. That is going to be going in between those 2 petals, the 2 rows below. So yarn over twice, find that slip stitch, which is right here. We're going to go into that stitch where we did this slip stitch from the row below, and that's where we're going to put our hook, sorry, and then finish our treble crochet. Okay, so now we went around 2 petals. So we're going to repeat and do the same thing. So 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, so 1 and 2, a half double crochet around the next stitch, a single crochet around the next stitch, and then do that in reverse. So a half double crochet in the next stitch, a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and that'll get us around our petal. And then we're going to do a treble crochet. So yarn over twice, find where we did that slip stitch and go into the same space that slip stitch worked into and do our treble. Okay, 2 more petals. So 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 in each, and then a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. That gets you to the top. And then do it reverse. A half double crochet, and then 2 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. Now we're ready to do our treble again. Yarn over twice, find that slip stitch and go into that hole where the slip stitch went into, that same stitch, and do our treble. Okay, and now last one, a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, pull out some more yarn. Okay, now we're going to do the reverse. So we're going to do half double crochet into the next stitch, and then double crochet 1 each in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Yarn over twice for our last treble crochet. We're going to go into the same stitch that slip stitch went into from the row below and do our treble crochet. We're going to go to the top of the chain 3, which was our first double crochet, and we're going to slip stitch into it. So that was the end of round 4. So going on to round 5, we are not going to cut our yarn yet. We're going to stay with this color for 2 more rounds. Okay, so we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we're going to do a treble crochet, so yarn over twice, into that same stitch that we joined into. Okay, that is going to signify a treble crochet, chain 2, and treble crochet. So that's actually one of our first corners, because we're going to turn this circle into a square is what we're doing now. Okay, so now in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Now we're going to chain 1 and then do a double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and then skip the next stitch and do a single crochet into the next stitch. Whoops. So skip that stitch, do a single crochet into the next stitch, okay? And then a half double crochet into the next stitch, a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1. Now we're chaining 1, but we're not skipping a stitch. And we're going to do 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 and 2. And then 1 triple crochet. Oh, wait, lost my place on the pattern. Let me see. Yes, we're going to make another corner. 1 triple crochet into the next stitch. 1, oh, I didn't yarn over twice, sorry. Triple crochet, yarn over twice. Going to the next stitch and do a triple crochet, chain 2, and another triple crochet into that same stitch, and we just made another corner. Okay, and now we're going to repeat that for the other side, for the other sides to complete our square. So 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 and 2, same stitch, chain 1, don't skip any though, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, a half double crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and now we are going to skip a stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, don't skip one though, and 2 doubles in the next stitch, 2 double crochets, same stitch. Now we're ready to make another corner. Treble crochet, so yarn over twice into the next stitch, so 1, 2, and 3 sets of 2 loops. That's why I counted that. And then chain 2, and then a triple crochet into that same stitch to complete our corner. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 and 2, the same stitch, chain 1, don't skip one though, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next one, 1 double crochet into the next one, chain 1, but don't skip one, 2 double crochets into the next one, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do another corner, get some more yarn, another corner, which is a treble crochet into the next stitch, chain 2 after that, and then a treble crochet again into the same stitch. Okay, we got one more side to go. So 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 and 2, same stitch, chain 1, but don't skip one, double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and now we are going to skip one, and then a half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, but don't skip one, 2 double crochets into this last stitch. Okay, now the first thing we did in the beginning of this round was a chain 6, but that chain 6 was the equivalent of a treble crochet and a chain 2. So what I do is I go to the next treble, the next stitch, and I know that there's 2 chains in between them, so I go ahead and leave those 2 chains, 1 and 2, empty. So that next chain right there between my thumbs, that is where I want to slip stitch into to join my round. Okay, so there is the end of round 5. I've got one round to go, and then we'll be finished. So round 6 starts by slip stitching into that chain 2 space to get yourself into the corner. Okay, chain 2, and it says that this chain 2 is not going to count as a stitch this time. Okay, so 1 half double crochet, so we're working half double crochets now. So 1 half double crochet into that chain 2 space, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 half double crochets back into that same chain 2 space. So 1, 2, and 3 half double crochets. Okay, chain 1, and now we're going to find the chain 1 space that was from the row before, which remember it was right between the stitch that had 2 double crochets and the stitch that had 1 double crochet. There's the chain 1. In that chain 1 space, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, chain 1, and now we're going to find the next chain 1 space, which was that space where we skipped a stitch right there in the middle of the row. And we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So we're kind of turning this last round into kind of like a granny stitch. Chain 1, find the next chain 1 space, which is between the 1 double crochets and the 2 double crochets, and do 3 half double crochets into that chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now you're going to chain 1, and now we're at the corner, and each corner is going to have 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, with a chain 3. Okay, and then 3 half double crochets back into that same chain 2 space. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, chain 1, and then now we are ready to do the next side. It's going to be the same thing as the first side. You're going to end up having a corner, and then 3 3 sets of 3 half double crochets in the middle, and then the next corner. And each corner is going to have 3 half double crochets, chain 3, and 3 half double crochets in it. And between those 3 half double crochet clusters, I guess you'd say, or groups, you're going to have chain 1s in between them. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next row together, and then I'll let you do the last 2 sides by yourself. So I did my corner, and I already chained 1. So now I'm going to prepare by yarning over to do my next 3 half double crochet group, and I'm going to find that next chain 1 space, and I'm going to do 3 half double crochets into it. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then find the next one, which is where we actually skipped a stitch, and do 3 half double crochets into that chain 1 space. Whoops. Okay, chain 1, and then find the next one and do 3 half double crochets into it. 1, oops, 2, 3, chain 1, and now we're back to the next corner. Do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 half double crochets again into that same corner to finish our corner. Okay, chain 1, and now we're ready to do the next side, where we're going to have 3 half double crochet clusters on the side. Okay, so do that same thing 2 more times, and I will meet you right before we get to that very last corner, which is actually the starting corner. Okay, so I'll meet you up there. I just did my last 3 half double crochet cluster, plus I did a chain 1. And now here, this is the beginning corner that I made. And it said in the beginning of the round that this first chain 2 was not going to be counted as a stitch. So right now this corner has these 3 half double crochets. It has the chain 3 in there. It's got 1 half double crochet, and then it's got this chain 2, but they said not to count that. So that means we need to have 3 half double crochets on that side. We've only got 1. So we're going to go right into that chain 2 space, the beginning one, and we're going to do 1 half double crochet, and then we're going to do 1 more. Okay, and then we're going to skip over that chain 2, go into the top of that half double crochet right there, and join our round with a slip stitch. Okay, so that is the end of our round. I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn, leaving a tail so I can weave it in. And then I'm just going to pull my hook through, pull the yarn through there. And let's look at our square. We can kind of take the corners and pull them out a little bit, straighten it out. So all I have to do now is go back with my yarn needle right here and weave in these tails. I have a few, but they weave in pretty easily because you have all these stitches that are pretty close together that you can weave under. And so that is the end of this flower square. The pattern is called Crochet Flower Bed Blanket, and I will link it down below in the description box if you want to print out the free pattern from Yarnspirations, okay? So see, now I have 2 squares, 2 flower squares. I think it's going to be really cute, and I think it's going to be a great use of scrap colors. Yeah, so you can put these squares together any way you want to. The pattern actually has you putting them together, I believe, with a flat braid method. I may do the invisible join method when I get ready to put my squares together. Right now, I'm just going to make squares, I think, just using up little scrap balls when I'm, you know, finishing up projects and I have some scrap balls left over. I'll just make some flower squares with them. Okay, I'm going to go. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we will see you again in the next video. Bye.